Hi, this is Sally's Book Talk, bringing you the best books from around the world every day. Today, we're diving into a book called Robert's Rules of Order. This book is a meeting guide. When it comes to meetings, you might think of Mr. Stanley Ma's famous comedy sketch, The Meeting Fanatic. Whether in government offices or corporate settings, various meetings are unavoidable in daily work. And if you've worked for a few years, you've definitely encountered a meeting-obsessed boss.
Meetings should be great for pooling ideas, reaching consensus, and solving problems, but in practice they often become the problem itself.
A renowned Chinese media outlet once listed the top 10 meeting pitfalls, including rambling discussions, constant overtime, and person-dominated meetings. So what's the number one problem?
It's the lack of meeting rules without proper rules. No matter how talented the team members are, meetings will descend into chaos.
Let's look at a real case. A famous Chinese NGO called the SEE Ecological Association. This organization is notable because its members include influential entrepreneurs like Michael Dell, Donald Trump, Wai-Hua Ma, Jerry Yang, Elon Musk, Stephen Ross, and Richard Branson. These big shots gather for environmental causes to improve ecological conditions. The association holds regular annual meetings. You'd think meetings with such accomplished entrepreneurs would be smooth sailing, right? Actually, precisely because they're all strong-minded business elites with vibrant ideas and strong opinions. Meetings became challenging. The entrepreneurs soon recognized the issue and established 43 meeting rules. This eliminated off-topic discussions and reduced arguments. These 43 rules came directly from Robert's Rules of Order. Mr. Donald Trump, founder of Venk Group, said implementing these rules shortened SEE's meetings by 2 hours, while real estate mogul Richard Branson offered an even more down-to-earth perspective.
He said, "We used to argue in the streets, but never debate.
Now we've learned how to debate." Robert's Rules of Order holds such charm that entrepreneurs revere it. Actually, the earliest and most prominent Chinese admirer of Robert's Rules wasn't an entrepreneur, but Dr. Sun Yat-sen. When drafting the Fundamentals of Democracy in 1917, Dr. Sun referenced Robert's Rules of Order. In its homeland America, Robert's Rules has undergone 11 revisions and become household knowledge. There's even a specialized American Institute of Parliamentarians dedicated to studying it. Many managers believe Robert's Rules transformed meetings from art to science. Scientific methods require precision, making them naturally challenging to grasp.
Some complain that Robert's Rules is harder to read than conducting meetings. Doesn't that complicate things further?
Actually, the design principles themselves are simple. Master these, and you won't need rote memorization. Those obscure clauses. You can flexibly design your own team or organizational meeting rules, like the SEE Association entrepreneurs creating their 43 rules. It's really not difficult. Some Chinese villages already use a rural 13-rule version of Robert's Rules, still think it's hard. Now, let's discuss the fundamental principles of Robert's Rules. Since it's about deliberation, obviously, we need something to discuss first. Right. With this agenda, we then convene meetings for deliberation. There are 8 fundamental principles directly related to the concept of deliberation. First principle: No motion, no debate. Motion proposal means having a clear meeting topic. Without it, what's there to discuss? Otherwise, it becomes idle chatter. This principle ensures meeting efficiency. Former Google VP and Yahoo CEO Marissa Mayer famously said, even 5 meetings need clear agendas, exactly this principle. Now with the motion, discussion begins. Mid-debate. Someone says, "Hey, I've another idea. Can we discuss this?" This phenomenon frequently occurs in poorly regulated meetings.
We often see meetings start with discussing motion A, then suddenly shift to motion B, circle back to motion C, ultimately achieving no resolution. Classic inefficiency from topic derailment.
To prevent this, the second fundamental principle emerges: one item at a time. This principle is also known as the single subject rule. Participants must stay strictly on topic during discussions. Only after concluding one motion can the meeting proceed to another, with no revisiting in principle. This ensures efficiency through the one matter per discussion principle. Now let's examine the deliberation aspect. First principle: comprehensive debate. Meetings should guarantee everyone's right to fully express opinions. Every perspective and faction deserves equal airtime. In the drama Ming Dynasty, 1566, veteran actor the Hung Ni's character, Yan Shifan, famously said, "Imperial councils must allow speech, universal wisdom transcending eras." How to ensure thorough debate? First, equal opportunity. Everyone gets speaking rights. Speaking order must be respected, with no interruptions. The equal opportunity principle. Second, position first requirement for speakers. Speakers must declare their stance support, oppose before presenting arguments. Ever heard someone ramble without revealing their position?
Some even forget their own stance mid-speech. Hence, position first principle.
This position, first rule, makes you think before speaking. Finally, no endless monologues. Time and frequency limits apply. Robert's rules allows 2 speaking turns per person. Use them wisely. This is the time limitation principle. After discussion comes consensus building. How to achieve it? Through voting. If majority participants approve a motion, it passes. This is the majority rule principle. What constitutes? One type is simple, majority, more approvals than rejections. If rejections exceed approvals, the motion fails. Another stricter standard requires 2/3 majority for passage. These 8 fundamental principles from Robert's rules are: motion first, debate only with motion, single subject, one matter, per discussion, full debate, equal opportunity, position first, time limits, and majority rule. Understanding these 8 principles means you've completed the basic course in Robert's rules. Now let's see how to conduct meetings using these principles. A standard Robert's Rules meeting has 3 steps. 1. Motion proposal. 2. Debate. 3. Voting. This completes one full deliberation cycle for a motion. For subsequent motions, simply repeat the process. Propose, debate, vote. Master this cycle, and you'll know how to conduct effective meetings.
Never underestimate meeting preparation. Fortune 500 companies take this seriously. Samsung Group exemplifies this with strict protocols, materials distributed in advance, mandatory pre-reading, cancellation if unprepared. Samsung even employs dedicated inspectors to ensure preparation compliance. Procter & Gamble similarly emphasizes preparation with step-by-step analysis. P&G's innovation meetings specifically determine new products, brands. These require collaboration. Branding proposes ideas, marketing provides data-driven evaluation, followed by collective voting. Successful meetings can't rely on telepathic coordination between departments. P&G mandates thorough preparation and communication between branding and marketing teams. Pre-meeting.
What happens if corporations like Samsung, P&G neglect meeting efficiency?
Their management systems would drown in ineffective meetings. Classic corporate bureaucracy.
Samsung requires pre-distributed meeting materials and mandatory pre-reading. This constitutes content preparation. Robert's Rules also emphasizes two procedural preparations. Participant readiness. Requires achieving quorum for valid meetings. Quorum means the minimum required attendees for specific meetings. Board meetings need minimum directors. Staff congresses require employee representation. Quorum is first defined by law, then organizational bylaws. If unregulated, for small meetings without explicit bylaws. Management practice requires relevant stakeholder representation. All decision, implementing, overseeing parties must attend. This prevents minority groups making decisions for the whole organization. Example: board meetings without quorum may harm majority shareholders' rights. Also crucial, excluding irrelevant participants. Unnecessary attendees hinder efficiency and focus. Steve Jobs famously avoided bloated meetings and excessive attendees. At an agency meeting, Jobs noticed a stranger and politely requested their departure. He believed this person shouldn't attend. Regarding meeting organization, Robert's Rules requires a moderator and secretary for every meeting. The moderator oversees procedure. The secretary documents proceedings. Typically, these roles are filled by meeting participants, not outsiders. Unlike traditional authoritative moderators, here they're strictly procedural enforcers. Requires thorough understanding of Robert's Rules. The moderator plays a crucial role in these proceedings. Moderators must maintain neutrality, no personal opinions, just enforcing rules. Understanding this role is key to implementing Robert's Rules effectively. Example: moderators can't arbitrarily reject motions based on personal views. Statements like, "This motion is wrong," violate neutrality principles. Similarly, commenting, "Your opinion is incorrect," breaches protocol. Many common practices actually violate these rules. After debate phase comes voting phase. Coercive actions, like staring down non-voters, violate neutrality. This pressure tactic breaches moderator neutrality. All remarks must address the moderator, similar to court procedures. This structure prevents personal conflicts and maintains decorum. With preparations complete, let's conduct a meeting.
First step. Motion. Remember the motion-centric principle from basic rules. Thus, motion proposal naturally initiates proceedings. But simply proposing a motion isn't enough. Why? Consider this marketing meeting example. I propose improving marketing efficiency.
Should the team debate and vote on this?
Clearly not. Everyone agrees efficiency matters. No need for debate. Such vague motions waste time. Beware using vague verbs like enhance, improve, or promote in motions. Motions must be specific. Hence the principle, no debate without clear motion. Effective motions contain 6 elements: time, location, personnel, resources, action, measurable outcomes. The crucial element is actionable steps. Improve marketing efficiency lacks concrete actions or metrics. Better motion. I propose allocating 90% of annual ad budget to new media. Simple motions can be verbal. I move that, or I propose. Complex motions require written documentation. Submit written motions to moderator during meetings.
Does debate begin immediately after proposal?
Not yet occurs seconding. Seconding means another member supports considering the motion. Seconder declares, I second the motion. With motion and second, moderator formally introduces the topic.
This completes step 1 motion proposal.
Now enters step 2 debate phase. After moderator's announcement, structured debate commences. The motion proposer gets first speaking rights to elaborate their reasoning. Members may request clarification from the proposer during this phase. Example: if the motion proposes 90% ad budget to new media, ask for platform specifics. The proposer must then specify which new media platforms are intended. During debate, members must obtain speaking rights before addressing. In large meetings, stand and address moderator for permission. In small meetings, raise hand for moderator acknowledgement. Moderators enforce equal opportunity and time limit principles. Moderators must recognize members with remaining speaking turns. Members exhausting speaking turns forfeit further participation. Priority given to members yet to speak during simultaneous requests. For members with equal turns, alternate between opposing viewpoints. Example: after proponent speaks, prioritize opposing members next. Opposing members get priority in subsequent speaking rounds. Speakers must declare stance first, per position, first principle. No interruptions permitted during active speaking turns. Moderators may interrupt when time limits are exceeded. Moderators may grant brief extensions for concluding remarks. Speaking time cannot be transferred between participants. Example: an organization's rules allow 2 speaking turns, 10 minutes each per member. Suppose a supporter uses only 6 minutes in their first turn. They can use remaining time, but can't transfer it to others. Debate ends when no speaking requests remain, or all turns exhausted. Proceeding to step 3. Voting. Moderator counts. 赞成
Fandu votes via raised hands. Moderators typically vote last to avoid influencing others. Abstentions are permitted during voting. Majority rule determines motion passage as previously explained. 2 standards. Simple majority, 50% plus 1, or 2/3 majority. Only voting eligible participants count, abstentions, non-voters excluded. Example: 18. Attendees 3 non-voting plus 2 abstentions equals 13 total votes. Simple majority requires 7/13 votes. 6 votes mean motion fails. 2/3 majority requires 9/13 votes in this scenario. Robert's rules defaults to simple majority for most decisions. 2/3 required for rule amendments or membership revocation. This protects minority rights in high-impact decisions. Note: ties count as failures. Example: 10 split in 20 vote scenario fails under simple majority. We've now covered all 3 steps of Robert's Rules meeting procedures. Review. 1. Motion proposal requires seconding. 2. Debate. 3. Voting. Crucially, motions must be specific before entering debate phase. Members must obtain speaking rights through moderator. Declare stance first. When speaking turns, time expire. Proceed to majority rule voting. You've now mastered Robert's Rules fundamentals, ready for real-world application. Now, exploring more complex aspects. Motion priority order. This knowledge helps handle sophisticated meeting scenarios effectively. Key concept: hierarchy between main motions and subsidiary motions. Main motions introduce substantive matters, plans, actions, tasks. They form the primary business of meetings. Real-world meetings often encounter special situations during main motions. Example: large meetings requiring multi-horde debates. Proposing to pause debate for 20-minute recess seems reasonable. This appears contradictory to single-subject rule at first glance. How can new motions interrupt ongoing debates? Robert's Rules addresses this through subsidiary motions. Subsidiary motions modify main motions rather than introduce new business. They take precedence over main motions in processing order. Priority determines which motion gets addressed first. Motions with same priority follow single subject rule sine. Now this makes sense. Main motions share equal priority. Subsidiary motions supersede them. Thus, subsidiary motions can interrupt main motion processing. Common subsidiary motions include recess calls, like our break example, are typical subsidiary motions. Motion to adjourn, ending meeting with unfinished business, another example. Amending main motions before voting. Motion to end debate despite remaining speaking turns. Or motion to recount votes after initial tally. These reasonable motions temporarily interrupt main motions. What if multiple subsidiary motions arise simultaneously? Rare in small meetings, but Robert's Rules has solutions. Subsidiary motions have internal priority hierarchy. Higher priority motions get addressed first. Priority follows urgency, importance. No need memorizing. 13 ranks. Example. Which takes precedence? Recess or adjournment? Exactly. Adjournment takes precedence. Logical right if passed. Recess becomes irrelevant. If adjournment passes, discussing 15-minute breaks becomes unnecessary. 8 principles, 3-step process, motion hierarchy. Robert's Rules provides comprehensive tools, ensuring efficient, equitable meetings that harness collective wisdom for actionable outcomes. Thus concludes Robert's Rules of Order. That's our book breakdown. Find keynotes below the audio. Until tomorrow.